Okay, explore how dreams affect the characters in the novel. Okay, so the novel has many characters that have dreams, such as Lenny, George, Curly's wife, Candy, and Crooks. But the two main themes of Mice and Men are hopes and dreams. So back in those times, in the Great Depression, people had dreams to keep themselves going, and they basically lived off dreams, and so did Lenny and George, and they were, but all of the characters, they all had different dreams for different reasons. Okay, so Lenny isn't lonely, but he does have a dream, which is different because most of the characters have dreams because they're lonely. But Lenny doesn't because Lenny has George. So initially, Lenny is not afraid of loneliness because he thinks that George is always going to have his back and George is always going to be there for him. For example, he always is with George, he works with George all the time, and George never lets him go off on his own. But whenever George gets angry, he always feels like he is a burden to George. So he'd say, George, you want I should go away and leave you alone. I was just fooling Lenny because I want you to stay with me. So even though George would get angry by some of Lenny's actions, he would never really want George. He would never really want Lenny to leave him.
Curly's wife. She is married to a man she does not get along with. She doesn't actually love him. She sort of married him because it was like a way out, because she initially had a dream to be an actress and to be famous and to be in the movies and so on. But this dream didn't work out. She was told that she met numerous men who told her she would be a natural, she would make it in the movies, but you can see that these were actually just chat-up lines to them that she would go with these men. So once she realizes that these dreams won't actually happen, she decides to marry Curly, but she doesn't actually love Curly like I said before. So while on the ranch, she has no one to talk to, there are no other women, and she tries to befriend the men on the ranch, but it doesn't work out because they all think that she's a rat trap, a tart, and so then they all avoid her. So when these men avoid her and no one wants to talk to her, she becomes lonely and she starts dreaming again. She keeps thinking about being an actress again, trying to move away and to leave Curly so that she can escape Curly because he's not a very nice man. She doesn't like him. So these dreams help take away the loneliness and make her happier.
So Candy, his dream, we're not sure what his dream is at the start, but when his dog is shot, he has nothing left because the dog was all he had. And he didn't want to kill his dog because he didn't want to lose the only thing that he had. Now that he's lonely, he wants to join George and Lenny's dream so he can become something as well. And we know that he cares about the dream because he offers to give his savings to start up the ranch and the farm.
Crooks. Crooks lives alone and does not interact with the white men because he is black. He has, the white men don't believe that Crooks is on the same level as him, so then they keep him away, they make him live alone. He does not allow him to interact with them. He's bitter about being a busted black nigger, but he's ecstatic when Lenny comes into his room and starts a conversation with him, and later on Candy joins conversation. His loneliness makes him dream about being equal to the other white men and having rights the same as them. He reminisces about a time when he was a child and he used to play with the white children, and he misses that, and he wants to be equal to them again. He knows his civil rights. So basically, his loneliness makes him dream about being equal with the white men and being friends with them and also having the same opportunities as them. But currently, he is just a black man who has no rights and has to live alone and has no friends and no one to talk to just because he's black.
Okay, so going back to Crooks on the theories and evaluation. Crooks, when he was talking to the other white men, it kind of took him away from reality, which the reality is that he's black, can't interact with the white men, and that he's basically on his own. So it kind of took him away from that for a minute while he's talking to them, and they're all talking about dreams, and it took him out of reality, and that's where Crook's dream kind of comes in, that everyone's equal, because they're all sat in his room, they're all having a conversation with him, so it takes him out of reality and kind of into a dream.
Also, another theory or evaluation we came up with was we weren't quite sure, but we just thought that we weren't sure if George really believed in the dream. We thought he may use it to manipulate Lenny as like he would do with a child, like trying to keep them in control. And since the manipulation wasn't working and he went out of control by killing Curly's wife, he kills him, but we believe that he doesn't believe in the dream because he doesn't want to pay the deposit for the house like Curly suggested in the books. We don't know where the house was or any details about it, so it could just be part of the manipulation. So yeah, the dream could be possibly to control Lenny like he would do with a child.
Okay, so our next theory of evaluation is about the rabbits. The rabbits, we all think, are a symbolic thing because they're innocent, like Lenny. The only time a rabbit ever showed up in the book was at the end, when Lenny was feeling alone and he'd obviously just killed Curly's wife and he was feeling guilty. A big angry rabbit showed up and started being mean and calling him a crazy bastard. You'd forget him and let him go hungry. I think that this has a very strong meaning because obviously Lenny's very childlike and this big white rabbit comes and shows up and shouts at him, kind of like the Easter Bunny in a way, like a big rabbit because he's a kid, he's like, he thinks like a child. But in no other way was a rabbit was shown in the book like as an actual rabbit. So I think that the rabbit was actually just kind of something that was there to show one of Lenny's emotions.
And it could also be foreshadowing, so their dream probably wouldn't have worked anyway.
We strongly believe that most of these characters have dreams because they are all lonely and dream of companionship and want to have a better future, like the American dream. So they started off with nothing and they wanted to build towards a better place where they could be happier and have companions. And so this loneliness all drove most of the characters, like Curly's wife, Crooks, George and Lenny. Although George and Lenny had each other, they were still quite lonely because it was just the two of them. They wanted to have their own place and to live together and not have to listen to anyone. And also, if they had friends, like mentioned in the book, George said, if they had friends who wanted to stay, they would let them stay because that's what they wanted. So this loneliness and this wanting for companionship all led to all these characters having to have dreams. We believe that the reason that other characters like Slim and Curly himself didn't have dreams because they weren't that lonely. Curly was rich, he had his wife, he was strong, he had a position of power, so he didn't have to have a dream. And Slim was the jerk lion skinner, he was portrayed as a god in the book, like a god in the book. So that's why he had quite a happy life, so that's why he didn't have a dream himself.
All the people who weren't lonely didn't need a dream to hang on to. Even though it doesn't seem like Lenny and George are lonely because they have each other, they are really lonely in themselves. Curly's wife also doesn't seem lonely because she has so many people around her, but it's not like she's lonely in the sense that she has nobody around her, she's lonely in the sense that nobody loves her. George and Lenny have at least each other to love and care about each other, but Curly's wife doesn't really have anyone because Curly doesn't really love her. The men don't want to talk to her. Nobody really actually likes her. So she's lonely in the sense that she has nobody emotionally to talk to her or care about her in that way. She's kind of deprived of love. So, yeah.
Okay.